Evening, guys. It is it Friday night? Yeah. So it's 20 past 9. The gym closes in 40 minutes. And yet again, cutting it close, just like yesterday. So again, another, I don't want to say like a big day of work, but I started work a little bit later than usual today because I slept in a little bit. And that was due to finishing work so late yesterday and getting all my food in so late. So it kind of just, I guess you could say, displaced my day today. A bit of a time displacement. So I started everything a little bit later. Therefore, I'm getting around to everything else in the day a little bit later than I normally would. But it's chest. I've already done my fasted cardio this morning. I trained arms, so I did the triceps from my AM session that I missed yesterday. And I did my biceps from my AM session today. So all I've got tonight is chest and side delts. So 3 chest exercises and 1 side delt exercise. Should be pretty quick, efficient, in and out. So it's 8 sets in total for chest and 3 sets in total for side delts, or for shoulders. So what's that? 11 sets in total. So I can't get 11 sets done in 40 minutes. There's something wrong with me, let's just put it that way. So yeah, pretty good day overall. I mean, it was a nice day, even though it was a bit of a slow start. Woke up, did my fasted cardio, did my AM session like I said, got home. I had a dip in the pool. I've got a pool at our place, so went up to the, I don't know if you'd call it an infinity pool because it's not like a see-through pool, but it's up high in our building, so went for a bit of a swim, cooled down. I like to do that after training or cardio because I find personally I run quite hot body temperature wise, so if I, say for example, come home and I have a shower and dive straight into work, I start sweating, I break out in sweating literally immediately as I get out of the shower. So to kind of offset that, I like to jump in the pool after I get home. Helps me kind of like get my core body temperature down, and also I'm just kind of like floating around in the pool, not swimming and getting my heart rate up. My heart rate comes down quite a bit. And so then when I go into work, I'm calm, I'm relaxed, and I'm not sweating my balls off. So that's what I did. And dove into the emails, got that done, started doing check-ins. Had a friend pop around, he had to drop something off, and we had a bit of a chat. He headed home, or he actually might have headed to the gym. I continued with work. I've still got 1 check-in to go, guys, but I wanted to get a session in before the gym closes, otherwise I'd be forced to rest on the training day, which is not acceptable. So yeah, plan of action is 3 sets of dips, 3 sets of chest press, 2 sets of dumbbell pullovers, and 3 sets of laterals. If all the benches are taken when I get to laterals, I'll just do some cable upright rows or Smith machine upright rows. So they're perfectly fine. They're a fine substitute for lateral delts. If, for example, your shoulders tolerate upright rows, which mine do, and if other equipment is unavailable. So yeah, I'll record a little bit when I get home too. I might show you my post-workout meal because today I've had to shuffle my meals around a little bit, so I haven't had my meals in the normal order that I need to do. But yeah, we'll get to that when we get to that. First off is a warm-up set on dips. So, let's say 61 kilo should be good. Warm-up. Feeling a little bit rusty tonight. Might have to do a second warm-up set. See how things go. If the first working set feels like absolute trash, I'll stop it a couple reps and I'll do another warm-up set. But if not, I'll just keep going. Some Mingo BCAAs. Again, I didn't get time to prepare a initial workout shake at home. Basically, shut my laptop off, got dressed, walked straight out the door, got a lift to the gym, and here I am. I just didn't want to eat immediately before training. If I eat immediately before training, I don't know about you guys, I hate feeling full when I'm training. I'd rather train hungry or on an empty stomach, to be honest. I just drink an intra shake and then eat a bigger meal when I get home. I know some people like training on a full stomach. I think they're strange creatures, those people. I'm definitely not one of them. Just wanted to quickly check to see if the camera was still recording and hadn't overheated yet. It's all good. All right. I might try control the tempo a little bit more in the next set. See if I can lower the seat a notch too. I think if I can get the seat a little bit lower, it'll feel just that extra bit better. A little bit of a deeper stretch that way. And that way I'll also get away with using less weight. 10 reps is pretty decent, even if the technique was a little bit sloppy. Yeah, so I managed to put the seat down a notch, which is good. Should feel a lot better now. And I also noticed when I was going with the camera before that the exposure was turned up a little bit too much. So you should notice that the color or the exposure of this shot has gone down noticeably from that first set. So if you're wondering why the sudden change in lighting, it wasn't messing around with post-production or anything, it's just a change to the camera settings. But given that I'm doing the same weight as the first set, slightly bigger range of motion, I suspect I'm probably going to fall a rep or two short of what I got in that first set. So I'll be happy with 8 or 9 on this. Let's see if I can get the seat a little bit lower. I think that's the lowest it goes. Oh, jeez. I hope that's the lowest it goes. That's bloody low. But I've got really good mobility for a guy of my size. I'm actually surprised sometimes at how mobile I am in certain exercises and certain movements. I can't do the splits or anything like that, but I'm definitely very mobile. Pretty vertically challenged. Right. So, of course, I normally do this exercise on my first chest session of the week, and this is my second chest session, but as you would have seen, I have kind of already doubled up on dips this week because I did that first chest session this week with my friend Zach at Elite Gym. So we used different equipment. And so just so I can track progression on this movement. I'll do this exercise basically today, so I can kind of see if there's any progressive overload from last week to this week. Oh fuck. Didn't even know that seat could move backwards. That just surprised the hell out of me. Alright, whoever was on this last is a bit of a retard. They didn't lock the seat in. But my knee just almost tore my pec. One sit down, 2 more, and then the pullovers to finish off. Tie over, chest running. Note to yourself, always double check this machine in the future. Don't want to run into that issue again. That's scary. It's little things like that will fuck you up, guys. It's very rare that you will hurt yourself when you're actually doing the exercise correctly, but rather things outside of the gym or little things like that where the machine's not fully locked in and set properly, that shifts and moves when you're performing the movement under load. Boy, that jolting kind of motion or jarring motion can definitely fuck you up. So I don't think I quite hit a PB on this today in comparison to last week, but I've got to keep in mind I am doing it on a different day of the week. This is technically my second chest session, so normally I don't do it in this session. So it's not going to be completely transferable, or completely comparable, I should say. Same number of reps as the first set, but say that was 1 rep closer to failure, so that's probably about 1 rep in reserve. So if I go 1 rep in reserve on the last set, which I will, I'll probably hit about 8 reps, assuming rest intervals are identical, that sort of thing, and a relatively somewhat consistent rate of accumulation fatigue is taking place between each set. Alright, final exercise now. 3 sets of laterals, then it's time to head off home. Get some music going. Now these are, I still track progression on them, but not as closely. Like, I don't expect to hit like a rep PR or a load PR on laterals every training block. It might be, say, 4 to 6 weeks before I hit some sort of a rep PB on this, so slower progression than something like a dumbbell press or a pullover, for example, like what I just did before. Anything that's kind of like a multi-joint movement, or that incorporates more than one muscle group, I should say. Not necessarily a multi-joint movement, but something that I suppose involves big muscle groups. I expect to progress a little bit quicker on that, but something like this, I don't care if I don't progress for a few weeks. As long as I'm getting close enough to failure, it's still going to count towards generating mechanical tension for muscle growth. Might not have looked like I was approaching failure on that set, but realistically, if you pay attention to the reps, they were getting a little bit shorter each time. So that's the indicator that you're getting close to failure if you're starting to delve into the territory of partial reps So just called it a 15. I'll aim for 15 on the next set, but I'll try get a little bit higher on those remaining, or those last few reps I should say. And I might do like a rest pause interval just to kind of manage that. I just realized that the gym's actually closing now, guys, so I might only get 2 working sets in tonight on the laterals, but that's okay. 2 is better than none, as I say. Oh. Two good quality reps. Come on. Probably notice too when I'm doing laterals, I'm not coming straight out by my sides. I'm kind of like out and forward slightly. That's so I can actually lateral raise in what's called the scapular plane. That'll better target the actual lateral head of the delt. So yeah, if you find that you get shoulder pain when you do dumbbell lateral raises and you're going straight out by the sides, it's probably part of the reason why. Change the angle, go slightly forward as you raise out by your sides, and keep your thumbs up. Don't do the whole thumbs down thing. Internally rotating the shoulders is going to cause pinching a lot of the time and cause issues. So don't do that bullshit. Don't buy into the bullshit of like turning your hands in. That doesn't hit the side delt more. Just keep your hands neutral, palms facing in, or if anything, turn the thumbs up a little bit. Feel a lot more comfortable on the shoulders, I can assure you that. And you'll get a lot more out of it. Screw it, let's just do a third and final set with minimal rest. Oh. 10 reps will do, given the dismal rest period. Right, home time. Oh. Okay, so finally home, showered. I finished off that last little bit of work that I had to do, and now it's time to eat my post-workout meal, which is about an hour after getting home. So it's kind of like how I like to do things, to be honest. I don't like to eat straight after I train. I don't really have an appetite, and not until my body goes into more of like a parasympathetic state, a rest and digest state, till my core body temperature comes down. So I like to kind of avoid eating for at least 30 to 60 minutes after I train, and usually by that point in time I'm pretty good to go. Pretty good to eat something. Appetite is, well, never really hungry, but appetite isn't completely non-existent if I give myself a little bit of time to rest after training. So post-workout meal today is actually one of my earlier meals. It's part of my breakfast meal. So pretty low in calories. But like I said at the start of this video when I was at the gym, I kind of ate my meals in a bit of a unorthodox order today. So that means a bit of a topsy-turvy meal order. So what I got here is egg whites, 1 whole egg, a little bit of hot sauce, ketchup, and a full sleeve of rice cakes. I get these ones, they're kind of like a 5 grains one. They've got, what is it? They've got lentil, Jobs, Tears, whatever that is, some some weird name for a type of grain, I guess. So lentil, Jobs tears, brown rice, red rice, and mung bean. So that's what it's made of. Relatively high in fibre. It's the reason why I like it usually for my first meal. It helps just get everything moving throughout the day, and then by the time I get to the tail end of the day, digestion's in a good point, in a good place. So yeah, I think it's like something crazy, like 15 grams of fibre in the entire pack. So pretty decent. Carbs, I think it's about like 100 carbs. So not too high in carbs, but decent. And then, yeah, protein wise, about 40, 50 grams of protein from this, 45, 50, depending on how many grams of egg whites I use. But currently, my meal plan is 350 grams of egg whites. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. So, plan of action here is, I mean, it's already almost 11:30 at night, guys. So, yeah, the life of an online coach. You get to choose your work hours, you get to choose your schedule. It's a crock of shit. And I don't mean that in a pessimistic, condescending way. I just mean people seem to glorify being an online coach. It's not something to boast about. If you're passionate about being a coach, it's a fantastic job. However, it's not as, I suppose, glitz and glam as people make it out to be. They're long work days. Around the clock, you have clients message you left, right, and center on the weekends. Obviously, you're not really obligated to message outside of your work hours. So if your work hours aren't on weekends like me, then you're not necessarily obligated to respond in that time window. But if it's something urgent or something super important and you see it, you're obviously going to reply. You're going to respond if you have any kind of conscience about yourself. And so if I see like an emergency or some sort of a important pressing matter in a message, I'll respond outside of work hours. But that's the thing. As a coach, you never switch off. You're always on. You're always switched on. And not everybody's cut out for it. I think it's a big reason why there's such a large dropout with the online coaching industry. Similar to engineering, I think people over-glorify engineering. It's a big reason why engineering at school, at college, university has such a high dropout rate in the first year. I think it's something, depends on the location that you're in the world. But I know, for example, where I went to university, the dropout rate was, I think, like 50 to 60% in the first year of all enrolled students dropped out. So that's pretty crazy when you think about that. Online coaching probably isn't much different. First 6 to 12 months of business, I'd say probably a solid 50% or more drop out, or I should say change career paths. It's not for the what's the word? Can't think of the word right now, but it's quite late. I'm pretty tired, but it's not for the faint-hearted. Essentially, there's a better term for it, but I just can't think of it. Yeah, eat this. I'll watch a bit of Joe Rogan. I think there's a guy that I follow. I don't want to say follow, but a guy that I consume. I consume this guy's content. Let's just say that. His name's Billy Carson, or Billy Carson. Yeah, Billy Carson, not Billy Carlson. Billy Carson, Carson. He's into that whole like pyramid, aliens, Anunnaki, conspiracy stuff. I can't speak right now. I apologize, guys. So he's into that conspiracy stuff, like the Anunnaki and the pyramids were built from another species. And yeah, he was on Joe Rogan podcast recently, finally. And it was funny because I've watched him on other podcasts over the years, and it was literally just a week or so ago. I was thinking to myself, you know what? It would be awesome if Billy Carson could get onto the Joe Rogan podcast. That would be a collaboration of a lifetime. And lo and behold, it happened. How's that for putting something out in the universe and getting it returned? So yeah, that's pretty cool. I started watching it. I'll keep watching that after I wrap up this video. But yeah, basically that's what I'll watch while I eat this and the rest of my food for the night. Yeah. What else? Oh yeah. In terms of eating this, you're probably thinking, how on earth do you eat rice cakes and egg whites? Well, I eat for purpose, not necessarily for taste. But it still tastes good to me. I like the texture, I like the crunch of the rice cakes, and I like the soft texture of the scrambled egg whites. Basically, just to take a spoonful of these and then take a bite of this. That's how I basically do it. Anyway, I'll probably wrap this video up here. I take my evening supplements. I've still got some BCAAs left over from the gym, so I'll use that to swig this down. All right, see you later, guys.